Welcome into another Tuesday night. Psych. Sunday night. Pop Blender Unfiltered. Not with me tonight is Matthew Matson. Not with me tonight is anybody. Tonight is just me. I am yours and yours alone. And welcome to anybody and everybody who's tuning in tonight, because this is an episode dedicated to all the haters. Not the haters of me, but everybody that thinks I hate everything. So this episode, this stream, is dedicated to the things that I love and like, and we're going to go through a few of those things here in just a little while. I do have some stories, but I'm going to save a lot of those for my stream with Matthew on Tuesday night, because a lot of those have to do with some leaks and some trailers and some thumbnails and some other stuff that we're going to go over on Tuesday night. But tonight is definitely dedicated to the things that I love. That's right. I don't hate everything. It may come as a surprise to some of you that I don't hate everything, every movie, every show, every series, every toy, everything. This is to celebrate some of the things that I love. And I took some time the other day to kind of type out some stuff that I really like. And we're going to look some of them up, and I'm going to tell you some of them and maybe why I love them or like them. And maybe you can contrast and compare them to today's shows and today's movies and stuff like that. But nonetheless, that's kind of where we're at. If you didn't get a chance, 3-Star Draw put out a Hiss and Tell little talk show with classified action figures, obviously with Televiper and the Cobra News Now Network. Pretty good, pretty funny. So if you get a chance, check that out on his channel. 3-Star Draw just came out a little bit ago. And I do have some stories to go through, but like I said, welcome in anybody that's hanging out tonight. And I would be remiss if I did not introduce the lovely, the talented, the wonderful, magnificent, and mysterious Otis McDonald and the band. That's right. Take it away, Otis. All right, Otis. Thank you to you and the Two Funk crew. That's right. All right. Anyway, so welcome in really quickly. 3-Star Draw is here. How did you leave titles off the thumbnail? I don't know. How did I do that? It's magic. That's how I did it. It's magic. Stanley, what's up, buddy? Stanley's here in the house as well. How you doing, man? Out on the West Coast. Clint, I don't think you hate everything, though you are missing a Dallas Cowboys helmet in your thumbnail. Well, I would be remiss to say that if I had this helmet, there's no way in hell I'm having a Dallas Cowboys helmet in my thumbnail. Oh, yes. Steelers all the way, baby. Dreadnought says, picks of things he loves, but I see no Rowdy Riles pick. Well, you're not going to find one of those, Dreadnought. You damn sure ain't going to find one of those. And no does either, buddy. No does. Yes. Only keep you waiting, Matthew. Only keep you waiting, Matthew. That's right. And Dreadnought, you can't put everything in a thumbnail. As a matter of fact, that thumbnail is a conglomerate of a one-time Gemini prompt. One time. One pass. That's all it is. Yes, Roll Tide. Let's see. Yeah. Squint hard enough, the drum set becomes a hockey puck. Turk Murphy's is here as well. And let's see. Little conversation going on about optics. I love it. Let's see here. Oh. Yeah, exactly. Listen, James Harrison did not step out of bounds. If he did, Cardinals would have won that Super Bowl, but he didn't. And Larry Fitzgerald almost made the tackle. So close. That's one of the more amazing things about that play in the Super Bowl, that James Harrison scored the touchdown and the interception at the end of the first half, is that Larry Fitzgerald ran all the way down the field and ran into his own players on the sidelines and still came within a whisper of making the tackle. A whisper, my friend. Clint says, I'm a Cowboys fan. Used to live in Pittsburgh. I love that city. Yeah, I bet being a Cowboys fan in Pittsburgh made it quite interesting, actually. I'm sure it did. And then Jim and I got that all at once. Yes, it did. It got it all at once. Just one big old vomit of a, one big giant vomit of a prompt, and said, create an image, a YouTube image for a thumbnail that is all the things that I love, including, and then I just threw it all out there. Not all of it, some of it. So anyway, so yeah, so there's a couple stories here and there. I got some weird and wacky. Like I said, a couple of them I definitely am going to save for. A couple of them I'm definitely going to save for Matthew, but I did have one that I wanted to comment on. And Otis, you're gonna have to bring it on down, buddy. You have to bring it on down. All right, let's get started. You know, I like to go in hard, like to go in heavy. This is a response. If you saw the stream where me and Matthew talked about the BAFTA Awards, the British Film and Television Awards, basically equivalent to the Oscars, so to speak, there was a controversy with a gentleman who had Tourette's who was in the audience. The problem was the gentleman was there celebrating a movie that he was in. One of the actors in the movie won an award for his performance, and unfortunately, some bad things happened. This guy spatted out some words that a lot of people would get offended by these days, or not, really. And it took on a life of its own. However, I wanted to comment on a guy named David Banner. David Banner is an actor. He was interviewed about what happened, okay? And he had some interesting comments, and I just had some responses to his comments, because these comments sound so often like the things that we hear all the time, and they are really getting old. Not David one Bruce, which, by the way, folks, I don't know if you know this, Bruce was a slur in the 70s. Look it up. So that's why the name of Bruce Banner was changed to David for the Hulk show in the 70s. Sabir, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. So I wanted to get an idea of why this response to the BAFTA controversy. Okay, I wanted to get an idea. I wanted to see what it was that, and we can suss this out and listen to this response. And I just kind of want to go through it because I'm curious to see how people feel about this, if anybody feels this way about this, because of today's society and how we are in today's society. So this is David Banner's response. He shares his opinion on the Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo BAFTA Awards incident. All right. And I just want to get an idea of kind of where people are at and what you think of this response. Because I think coming from a celebrity and also a celebrity of privilege in a way, I think this is a bit out of touch. And we've seen this guy from the BAFTA Awards that was really made a fool of. And look, I would dare say that the gentleman that was there, okay, that actually said the offensive language, obviously didn't mean it. He has Tourette's. Okay, it is a condition that makes you say things that you don't have control over. So we've seen all kinds of calls that this guy should have been in a separate room. He should have been segregated from the audience, which I find fascinating. But John Davidson, the man that the film was made of, just found himself in an unfortunate situation. But the response has been fascinating. And this is a response that I wanted to play. And I wanted to get an idea of where people are at on this. I will give you my thoughts on what I think about this response. I think it's a bit tone deaf.
We all saw what happened with Roy and Michael B. Jordan at BAFTA Awards. How do you feel like that could have been handled a little bit better in regards to the racial slur and SAG-AFTRA not really responding and reaching out to them after?
White people do for white people, and I don't know why we're surprised about it.
All right, because we're going to break this down. White people do for white people. I don't know why we're always surprised about it. Again, we're talking about somebody who has a condition. This isn't someone who is like going out of his way to say something offensive. This is a condition that I think all of us know about. We all know about Tourette's. We've known about Tourette's our whole lives. This is not a surprise. Maybe people forgot about it. As we say hello to Todd C. I want to break this response down because I find it interesting, for one, because, again, I think it's amazing the ability for people to not understand that this guy has a condition not unlike many other conditions and does not have control over his words. So once again, back it up a little bit and we'll start it again.
We all saw what happened with Roy and Michael B. Jordan at BAFTA Awards. How do you feel like that could have been handled a little bit better in regards to the racial slur and SAG-AFTRA not really responding and reaching out to them after?
White people do for white people, and I don't know why we're surprised about it. You know, I wouldn't go back again if I were there, because if they really respected black people, they would make sure that we were protected.
All right. Protected from a gentleman who has Tourette's. Okay? Protected and to not go back again. Well, I can almost 100% guarantee John Davidson, the star of the movie, or at least the movie that was created, okay, the subject of the movie that was being celebrated at the awards ceremony, who was in attendance because he is the person the movie was made about. So let's break this down on another level. Let's just say that the person in attendance had Down syndrome. And that person was having a movie made about them and they were in attendance and they shouted out something insensitive to someone because, well, I've heard people with Down syndrome say things that could be offensive, although most people, they don't even think once about it because of the condition of the person. But because this guy doesn't have Down syndrome and he seems normal, but he has an actual serious medical condition, which the movie shows his life, okay, being thrown in jail, arrested, beat up at all turns of his life, okay, treated completely differently than everybody else, which I would dare say David Banner here, especially once he got to Hollywood, probably not. A different kind of oppression, if you want to say, or a different kind of demonization. HK Viper Graph, what's going on? And Sabir says, these people are insufferable. It's exhausting to see the ongoing gaslighting that black celebrities deploy to those who take their opinion seriously. And I take your opinion seriously, Sabir, for this very reason. And it was interesting when you came into the stream because this was what I was bringing up. And I'm curious to hear your opinion because I value your opinion and what you think about this, as well as everybody else's. But this is interesting because, number one, again, let's back it up. Just back it up. And let's hear what the first words out of his mouth when he's asked about this thing that happened at an awards ceremony with someone who actually has a medical condition. not unlike someone with Down syndrome. Okay? Nolan, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. And again, the gaslighting, the response. Okay? Let's hear it again.
We all saw what happened with Roy and Michael B. Jordan at BAFTA Awards. How do you feel like that could have been handled a little bit better in regards to the racial slur and SAG-AFTRA not really responding and reaching out to them after?
White people do for white people, and I don't know why we're surprised about it.
Which the reporter's question is quite leading, because it's like, what should have been done about it? Well, what would they do about it? Would they segregate the person from the room, from being honored? So you stick him in a room with what? A security guard, a handler, or you just put a chair in a fucking room and you put a TV up and you stick him in a room by himself. He's dressed up. He's there to be honored. A movie has been made about him. One of the actors wins an award for the movie that's made about him. You're going to stick him in a room by himself. Can you imagine if they did that to someone else? Can you imagine if they did that to someone else? The outcry that would happen if they stuck somebody in a room by themselves and did not allow them to attend the ceremony. So we'll continue.
You know, I wouldn't go back again if I were there, because if they really respected black people, they would make sure that we were protected.
So obviously he's not going to go back again, because there's not going to be another movie made about this guy. This is it. This is the movie. This is the opportunity. This is the award. This is the participation. Of course he's not going to go back again. He's not an actor. He's not an actor. He's not a celebrity. He's the real life inspiration of the movie. Why would he be going back to the BAFTA Awards unless there's another movie made, which would be goofy? The sequel? Maybe there should be a movie made of this post-controversy. My point being is that the response and people being protected from what? Words? Because the response of the actors on stage presenting the award, when this man with Tourette's, John Davidson, shouted out the N-word and bitch afterwards, okay, didn't even blink. They didn't even blink. They continued on.
You know, if it really meant something to them, they would have made sure that nobody else heard that. They had.
If it meant something to them, they'd make sure nobody else heard it. It's a condition. He has no control over it. So at this point, after this controversy, after this has happened, everybody's had a chance to read and suss out and find out what is important or what is the deal with this guy. Okay? It's not that it wasn't important to him. It's that it happened uncontrollably, which he didn't apologize for, but I guess just wanted to come out and say, I felt horrible. It happened. There's nothing I can do about it. And so John Davidson, the guy in question, did speak out.
Power to edit that, you know. And
now, I do appreciate David Banner saying that the powers that be had the opportunity to edit it, because the BBC had an opportunity to blank out the words and kept it in the broadcast. All these award shows are on a 3-second, 10-second, 20-second, 30-second delay that gives them the opportunity to edit out, change camera angles, and or mute words. When you hear your favorite performers go on an award show and they cuss and it's on ABC, guess what happens? They get bleeped. They don't do it in real time. Okay? During a live performance especially. They don't do it in real time. It's not possible because it's on a delay. And there's people that have control. So yes, he is correct. The powers that be should have prevented at least this from being heard. Then this wouldn't be as big a story.
And I'm tired of black people always having to take it. I don't know if I would have took it the same way. And maybe that's why I'm not in the same position. I think I'd have put my hands on that white boy.
Okay. Let's listen to that again. Let's listen to that again. Someone who is Okay, switch the roles again. Let's just say it was somebody with Down syndrome and they said it. I want to know whether or not he'd put his hands on that white boy.
I don't know if I would have took it the same way, and maybe that's why I'm not in the same position. I think I'd have put my hands on that white boy.
Are we fucking serious? Like, are we really, truly serious? Like, that's the response, is I would have put my hands on him? It's fascinating to me. And this interview has gotten no press, by the way. This interview, this guy has gotten no clap back or push back or nothing. You probably didn't even know about this. Literally saying, I would have put my hands on that white boy.
I don't know if I would have took it the same way, and maybe that's why I'm not in the same position. I think I'd have put my hands on that white boy.
I love you.
I know my pup.
I love you.
Hands on that white boy.
I love you.
I know my
Are we serious?
publicist. She didn't hear that.
Okay, then
I love you.
I know my publicist. She didn't hear that. I know she didn't hear that. She'd have jumped on my back. I know you're gonna leave it in there.
I didn't see anybody jumping on his back after the fact. Didn't you hear about this? Comments quickly. Let's see here, because I know there's a lot of people that have come in and said hello. Let's see here. Sabir says protect. It's all cap. The man goes home to a gated community. 100%. Flies first class. Has 3 or 4 car homes. Yeah. Stop the cap. This is another side of the ambush. Gayest Marvel movie ever.
The gayest project Marvel has ever done.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And this is a good comment. Dreadnought, the powers that be will never push actual people of merit from the black community. They demonize them. That's why Thomas Sowell, Clarence Thomas, Ben Johnson, their ilk never get praised. Agreed. And I think they're also looked down upon in the community. Not just the black community, white community as well. But I agree with you 100%. Bobby Wold says about 10 minutes to make part 2 to his Tourette's movie about surviving the BAFTAs. That's what I mean, right? If he's ever going to be back, it's because of being, invited back after they make a sequel to this controversy, which is fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating to me. Let's see here. Yeah, Graf, save the ears, the horror, clutching pearls, save us, BBC. And Sabir, you're right. Everybody uses that word. I mentioned it last week at my work. It is just as natural at my work as any other word, but only to certain people. That's okay. Whatever. I don't care. It is what it is. I don't care about walking around calling people names like that or using it as in just everyday speech, right? But I'd say most all of us have at some point in time used it in some shape, form, or fashion. And for a lot of people at this point, it's not necessarily derogatory. But again, that's a conversation for another day. 3-Star Draw says this guy sounds like Terrence Howard, just not as crazy. Yeah, Terrence Howard is out there. And yeah, gaslighting, insufferable at this point, showing ignorance. And I don't suppose you do, Sabir. I really don't suppose you do. I've read your comments. I've had interactions with you in the chat. And by no means are they mostly on a subject like this. But that doesn't surprise me. Turk, I don't like that white boy part. I ain't no white boy. Will R is here. What's going on? The gayest. Yes. And Graf says, I wonder if anyone from Hollywood or from the Tourette's Association of America has made any comment to bring awareness to what happened. Well, okay. That's the flip side to this, Graf. More people in the last couple of weeks since this happened have been made aware of Tourette's. Even those that have known about it, right? Like, known about it for our whole lives. I knew what Tourette's was when I was probably 10 years old. This isn't some new thing. And so therefore it's fascinating because there's been more awareness brought to this situation. I do believe this is serious gaslighting. It truly is. Someone with, again, swap out the guy with Tourette's with someone who has Down syndrome and tell me what the reaction would be. And would we be calling for segregation? Literal segregation is what people have been calling for. So now we actually do have a lot of black folk calling for segregation in this particular instance. I find that fascinating. Fascinating. Action figures sold. Action figures sold. We're going to go there. It's like, why is my brain not working? Wow, this has been very enlightening of y'all's opinions. Good to know. Yeah, that's what I like. I like opinions. I like to know. I like to know. Will R, what's next? Put Corky from Life Goes On in a cage. That's kind of my opinion, right? Or at least thought process. Is that where we're going? And HK Viper says, look, as an immigrant and a minority, I'm tired of it all. Golden rule, just don't be a piece of shit. Thank you. That really is it. And enough with telling people how to feel. I agree. Again, we're talking about someone who has Tourette's, a serious condition, some affected seriously. The movie that was being celebrated the night of the awards, again, made about the guy in the audience who was, I'm sure, petrified when he shouted out and had no control, right? And yeah, the backlash has set Tourette's back 50 years. It is possible. Some people have commented that and have actually felt that way, is that it actually has. It's fascinating. Yeah, Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf introduced Tourette's to the masses back from LSU days. And the, let's see, was the Vancouver Grizzlies? I could be wrong. And the Party of Compassion doesn't know what the word means. I agree. So, not all the time, but obviously. And Sabir says, yeah, easily. Dominicans call each other that all year long in my neighborhood. So I think we got a little caught up here. Okay, so look, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute because I was made aware of that video. And it just is the classic response. And again, as Sabir put it, we're talking about someone of privilege. Okay, this guy, okay, Mr. David Banner, he gets to go all over the world. He gets to be an actor. He gets to do sponsorships. He gets to live a life of luxury. Okay, he gets interviewed on the red carpet. This is someone who I'm guessing has not known any actual real hardships in a really, really, really long time, if in fact at all. But obviously he would put his hands on that white boy who has a serious medical condition, and yet no one's talked about it. Well, good for him. That makes him sound like a really, really strong, brave, and stunning man. Okay. I like to get into it. I like to get into it. So, I definitely will. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we can dig up here, you guys. I've got a few things that floating around in here, but in regards to Matthew, I'm definitely going to save a little bit of it. Okay. I do have another story. I got a couple of them, really. I got a couple of them. Because this is also somewhat in the ballpark. So let's take a look at this article really quickly. You guys, you like Quentin Tarantino? Do you guys like Tarantino? I did not, Sabir. I did not, man. I did not find Red Dog and Taurus. I doubt I'm going to see him anywhere in my vicinity. I can tell you that. But maybe Maybe I will if I get a lucky streak. Uh, yeah. Also, Billy Butch, what's going on? Good to see you late to the show. Always good. Late, at the end, early. It's all the same. Just appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, Deuce Bigelow introduced me to Tourette's. And you know, that's something that I talked about when this thing did go down. And I talked about it with Matthew. Is that most of the time we've seen Tourette's, it's been portrayed in like a comedic fashion, right? It's been portrayed in a comedic fashion. And so this is one time where it didn't happen the way everybody thought that it would. And maybe that's the fault of portraying it in a comedic fashion. The fascinating part is that the movie that was being celebrated, an award being won for, was a movie you'd think the people there had seen or knew about. And knew about this guy. Maybe met him beforehand. Whatever. If they were inspired by his story. But it's obvious that most of these people are vapid and they don't watch shit, you know. Okay. Sabir says, yes, I do like a lot of his films. Dreadnought says Quentin himself, nah, but some of his movies are okay. I do love Quentin's movies. Clint says Tarantino did awesome with Pulp Fiction. He should come out with another movie. He will. He actually will. I think, what is it, one more maybe? Two more, and then he retires. Dusk Till Dawn is a fun movie, Nolan. A very fun movie. Okay. So I saw this story, and I wanted to suss it out with you guys. I wanted to read this and look at this article with you guys, and I want to get your opinions, and I want to see. Because a lot of times I read these articles, and I get to a sentence, I get to a phrase, I get to a quote, and I just kind of look at like, okay. And I want to see, well, I asked, do you guys like Tarantino? Are you familiar with his films? I am a fan of his film, as Stanley said. His next one will be his 10th and final. I do enjoy his work. Is it controversial? Yes. Does it have harsh language in it? Yes. Is it funny as shit? Yes. He has the ability to take situations that are really real and hardcore and actually make them funny in some roundabout way. Is his language harsh? Yes, it is. Inglourious Basterds, says Turk, right? So yeah, I think most of us enjoy a great filmmaker of our time, not part of the studio system, right? Reservoir Dogs, great. If you like films that have very few settings and a lot of dialogue, Reservoir Dogs is there. No, Bobby, I don't want to see a Grace Randolph movie. But the title Clueless, yeah, it has been taken. All right. Well, Rosanna Arquette, she has some issues with one, Quentin Tarantino. She says that Quentin Tarantino has been given a hall pass to use the N-word in films. It's not art, quote, it's just racist and creepy. You guys may remember Rosanna Arquette at one time a bombshell. I'd say nowadays not so much, even for us older guys. I hate people that don't believe in tipping, by the way, Dreadnought, and I hate that scene. I hate when scenes like that and trends and fads like that kind of take hold because it gives people the wrong idea. But funny on you. Funny on you. Okay, Arquette, who appeared in Pulp Fiction, said the movie was iconic and great, continuing to criticize the director's use of the word in his work. Rosanna Arquette is condemning the use of the N-word in Quentin Tarantino's filmography. During a Saturday interview with the Times UK, the actress looked back on Pulp Fiction, where she portrayed the wife to Eric Stoltz's character. Arquette noted that the film was iconic, great, though she said she believed Tarantino has been given a hall pass when it comes to using the word in his work. Quote, it's iconic, a great film on a lot of levels, end quote. She said of Pulp Fiction, but, quote, but personally, I am over the use of the N-word. I hate it. I cannot stand that Tarantino, has been given a hall pass. It's not art. It's just racist and creepy. The use of the N-word in the director's body of work has been scrutinized in the past. In particular, his 2012 film, Django Unchained. Stars Jamie Foxx as a titular character of Django, who is a slave, sparked debate at the time. The movie includes over 110 times where both black and white characters use the N-word. Spike Lee spoke out against Django Unchained in 2012, telling Vibe magazine that, quote, "It's disrespectful to my ancestors. That's just me. I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone else." The Malcolm X director also notably criticized Tarantino's excessive use of the N-word following the release of his 1997 film Jackie Brown. Quote, "I have a definite problem with Tarantino's excessive use of the N-word. And let me state for the record, I never said that he cannot use that word. I've used that word in many of my films. But I think something is wrong with him." When Tarantino was questioned backstage after the Golden Globes, he said, quote, "They think I should soften it, that I should lie, that I should massage. I would never do that when it comes to my characters." Ahead of the movie's December 2012 release, he told The Hollywood Reporter that, quote, "Not one word of social criticism that's been leveled my way has ever changed one word of any script or any story I tell. I believe in what I'm doing wholeheartedly and passionately. It's my job to ignore that." So I posit to you, dear chat, how do you feel? Do you feel Tarantino has been given a pass? Do you feel that his filmmaking is racist? Do you feel that he needs to change his scripts? Do you feel that he's overused the word? 110 times in one movie is a lot, but we have to consider the movie and the fact that someone is bold or brave enough to make movies that aren't muddled up by studio notes and being scared to be an individual. That's my opinion. And also, yes, Matthew, I was going to say that, yes, Robert Rodriguez, Dusk Till Dawn, but Tarantino was in it with George Clooney. Bobby says Rosanna Arquette only mad because he's never casted her feet in any of his movies. Will says, didn't Spike Lee call him out on this 30 years ago? Yes, as we just said, not 30, but in the article. And then they worked it out, and he actually appeared in one of his movies. Yeah, trying to make herself relevant again. Yes, makes sense. Let's see. She looked rough in Pulp Fiction. Inbred Hollywood weirdo. I do like that. Let's see here. Matthew, really shit. I always thought that was a Tarantino movie. No, and it was Rodriguez. 3-star Joe says, I love most of Tarantino's movies. Some I don't like much at all, and I 100% believe he overuses it just for shock value. Okay. And then Matthew responding to Nolan. Yeah, obviously he was in it. And the El Rey Network, which El Rey, a place we never got to see in From Dusk to Dawn. So I'm curious what you guys' thoughts on whether or not Tarantino gets a pass or not. Does he get a pass because he's a great director and creator? Or how about this? How about we think about this for a second? If the people that were in his movies hated it so much, then why were you in his movie? If you hated this so much, why would you agree to be in his movie? A la Sam Jackson, who has been very outspoken recently on some social issues. Jamie Foxx. Like, why, would you be, Pam Grier? Why would you agree to be in this movie if it really was a problem, right? If you're playing Call of Duty, you know what those chats are like, Dreadnought. You know what those lobbies are like too. Bobby Wall says it's funny how these actors don't mind being in the movie at the time. Hello, ding, 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 ding. But they come out a couple years later, cried about it like the guy that played Tal in Gran Torino. Exactly. And then action figures sold separately. He says, I think the black actors that were in his movies definitely dealt with worse before. I would dare say yes. I would dare say yes, especially early in their careers. But if you read the script, right? If you read the script, as 3-Star says, maybe the money from that big ass check that he gave them ran out. Possible. But why would you agree to be in this movie? Because you know he is a director. He has a limited lifespan as he is made for himself. And you know that his movies are usually monumental and or very good or polarizing. But if it bothered you that much, that's the issue when people, they want something, it's reciprocal. But after the fact, when the star has faded and someone reflects, then that's when they have an issue with it, right? As such that Stanley says right here. It is interesting that no one had a time with this or had a problem with this when they were in his film. And if they did, they didn't say anything, did they? Until well after the fact. When did Pulp Fiction... Okay, Rosanna Arquette. When did Pulp Fiction come out? Can any of you guys give me the year Pulp Fiction came out in movie theaters? Matthew knows, I know. But can anybody else give me the year Pulp Fiction came out? Damn close. Stanley nailed it. An action figure, was it anybody else or just Arquette? Well, and you know, as the article said, like, you know, we've had, you know, Spike Lee, which I think was the only other person really named. Did Jamie Foxx have a problem with this? I mean, shit, he was in the movie that used it 110 times. Did we hear him come out and say, oh, man, this is a travesty. I think it's creepy. It's racist. He's getting a pass. Oh, but by the way, come see me opening weekend in the Quentin Tarantino film Django Unchained, by the way. I'm the star. Did that happen? Because I don't think so. Yes, 1994. So think about that. 1994. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to say something, and this might be controversial, but I firmly believe it. For those of us of a certain age, at 50 years old, as I am, and many of you may be around here, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, one thing I will tell you is by the time the 90s and into the 2000s, it really felt like we kind of had whipped race. Like we had kind of put race on the back burner. Like race, you know, with the people I hung out with, the topic du jour on television and movies, you know, have there always been things that depicted periods of history or things that were offensive or things that happened? Of course there were. But when it came to everyday life, I really felt like we had really kind of whipped race in the ass. That it was no longer an offensive topic. And then all of a sudden, in the last 15 years or so, it's become a grift. Right? It's become a grift. And then when non-relevant people need something to say to stay relevant, and yeah, right. Action figures sold separately. Yeah, quite a rally, isn't it? I think there was a better one in the game, Red Dead Redemption 2, if I'm not mistaken, and that's where you can blast them all with your dual action. Have a good night. Is that I felt like really and truly in the 90s and into the 2000s that race really was on the back burner. And I feel like in the last 15 years, it's really been brought up. So there are people that can really, truly grift off of it. And I think they felt like because if it was solved, they wouldn't have the ability to make money. They wouldn't have a career. So you can't solve something and then have a career talking about it. So you have to continue to perpetuate it. Now, does it exist? Yes, it does. But let's not kid ourselves, folks. Like, in most places, it is on the back burner. Especially in everyday dealing with people. It is. Right? Like, it just is. But this is funny to me, as Bobby Wold says. I think Morgan Freeman has been the most well-spoken guy on the subject. And I agree. Morgan Freeman has some great comments about it. I really do. And 3 Stars really did seem like it got better there for a while. I mean, I just, think back about it and really think about it and take stock in it. And really think about it, and it did. It really felt like it was really a non-issue. I know it was with a lot of people that I hung out with and dealt with. And I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, I got a black friend. But the reality is that it really was on the back burner. It just wasn't a thing. It's like, and when I talk to people and really interact with people, whether it's at work or just in my personal life, it's not even a thing. It's just not a thing. Is it for some people? Yes. Are those pockets really small? I believe so. I believe people that are openly hostile to other people, no matter who they are, I feel like those pockets are small. And yet somehow they get the loudest voice. Stanley says, seems everything has been on the social radar again since Me Too. And Matthew will agree with you there. I know I will, is that Me Too really, really started something. As we saw with Max Landis and the G.I. Joe movie that might be coming out. And the headline is Max Landis and then comma, someone who was Me Too'd, basically, comma, possibly coming out with G.I. Joe movie. Didn't need to be in there. And yes, smallest minorities tend to be the loudest. And I'm not talking about black folks. I'm not talking about Hispanic folks. I'm talking about the smallest minorities tend to be those that are special interest groups, right? That tend to be the loudest. That don't speak for a majority or even speak for a lot of the minority. Rosanna Arquette, I don't know. I just think this isn't going to play well. I think Tarantino is very beloved. I think Tarantino is very loved. I think people look at his films and they look at the realness and the rawness. They look at the actors in the films. And I don't think we've heard very many actors come out and say they think he's creepy, they think he's racist, and they think he gets a hall pass. And I would just like to ask Rosanna Arquette. I'd love to ask her. What hall pass? What's the hall pass? Who gave him the hall pass? Is it black people giving him the hall pass? Is it white people giving him the hall pass? Is it Jews giving him the hall pass? Is it Muslims giving him the hall pass? Right? That's my only question. Who's giving him the hall pass? Right? Yeah, definitely Jews. Maybe. He does have that foot thing, right, Matthew? He does have that foot thing. That's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I did find something. Are you guys Snyderverse fans? Are you Snyderverse fans? I want to know. Do you like the Snyderverse? Do you like James Gunn's DCU? Which one do you love? Because I actually have a very special surprise for you. A very, very special surprise for you. See if I can get this to work because it's let's see. I want to make sure the volume's right. Mr. Wonderful is in the house. What's up, Mr. Wonderful? Because I was made privy to something. And no, it did not come from War Chest full of toys. Okay? It did not come from War Chest, but I was made privy to something that you may find interesting. Let's see here. Let me pull it up. All right, this is from, this is a leak. Graf says, no, not really a fan. Clint says, no, I can't get into live action Justice League stuff. Stanley says, prefer the Reeves versus Batman. Or Reeves, yep. Graf says, wasted Henry Cavill, not as bad as Witcher folks did, but still wasted. And then Nolan says, had high hopes for that Justice League movie, and then was sadly disappointed. Well, I do have something for you. And I think you're going to find it fascinating. I can't play the audio because I don't want to get copyrighted. As Mr. Wonderful says, MCO over DC all day long. Stu for Lunch is in the house. How you doing, Stu? I can't play the audio, all right, but I'm gonna bring old Otis McDonald down here, okay, just a little bit. And then I'll play the very, very end of the audio for you. Let's see here. I want to get it queued up. Okay. I do have some footage, folks. This was sent to me. I hate to reveal my source, but it is here. And this is something that was cut from the Snyderverse, and it may very well be used if Paramount fires James Gunn and brings back Snyderverse. Wonder Woman. This is a comedy scene of Wonder Woman in a Dollar General riding a horse. You see Barry Allen.
Anyone have some change?
I mean, a monumental scene, folks. I think this is probably one of the finest shots from the now deleted scenes from...
Anyone have some change?
From the Snyderverse. Look at the way Wonder Woman... I mean, look at the way she rides this mechanical horse. If that is not realism, if that's not realism, then I don't know what is. Snyder had the ability to transform, and I think this is transformative content right here, folks. Truly transformative content. And if we see the look on Batman's face, you'll see, and I don't want to get copyrighted, but if we look at the look on Batman's face, you can see how first and foremost, this horse riding here, this positioning is about as perfect as one can get. The direction right here with Gal Gadot, the direction is unbelievable. And then as we see, look at Ben Affleck. Look at those eyes, those sultry bedroom eyes. Look at those eyes. To the direction that it takes to get that out of an actor is unbelievable. And look at the look here with the hot dog. Barry Allen. This is unbelievable work by Zack Snyder. And I love the touch here with the coleslaw up top, the little chicken sandwich and fries. Just magnificent. And then we get, obviously, the coup de grace, which is this fantastic scene. Gal Gadot, she doesn't have to say a word, folks. She doesn't even have to speak. That's how good of an actress she is. Because when she does speak, it's magic. Pure magic.
Whoops. Anyone have some change?
Fantastic. I better take that down before I get copyrighted. But I had to show that to you guys. Very brand new footage. Now it was deleted. Okay, but as War Chest says, she was straight up banging in Mission Impossible. Yeah. Or was that something else? Let's see here. Yeah, War Chest is in the house. What else have we got here? See, look, Nolan remembers that movie. 3-star, you've seen that content. I can't believe it. That was deleted content. I thought that was a world premiere. I thought that was a world premiere, and my apologies. Stanley says, parody of Career Opportunity, Jennifer Connelly. Target scene. What? What? You trying to get me to look something up? Or are you trying to get me to look up the end of Requiem for a Dream, Stanley? Is that what you're trying to get me to look up? Because I will. I will look that scene up. I can't show it on the... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can't show that scene. I forgot all about that movie, Career Opportunities. Good pull, Stanley. Good pull. Holy shit. Joe fan, how you doing, buddy? Holy cow. Hang on. I'm just going to leave it on the screen for you guys. Look, all right. I'll share the screen. Jeez, you gonna make me do it?
bigtime.com.
Whoa, did you hear that? Ooh, yeah. Spring break is wonderful. Wait a minute. Stanley, this was a joke to get me to play the target play. Oh, look who it is.
Per hour. $4.44. What about the benefits? There's no eating. You're not being paid to eat, so don't. And don't play any music.
Okay, we have to get to the best part. All right, come on. This part right here. That's a good part, folks. That's a good part. I don't mind going off on a tangent, by the way. Is it John Hughes' last film? Is it? I don't recall. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly, a good pull, should never be used in the same state.
In aisle 5.
Hey, look, she looked fire in the Top Gun Maverick movie. And she's like 60. Like, she looked fantastic.
What are you planning to steal?
Whoa, hang on.
What are you planning to steal?
Whoa! Did you see that spin around, folks? Look closely. Look closely at the dedication to her craft. Look closely at someone who is very talented in a couple ways as she spins around to face the robber.
What are you planning to steal?
That's talent. That's craft. That's acting. Okay.
Steal hairspray.
Whoa.
We haven't decided yet, have we?
From John Hughes.
I mean, you know, we don't get the whole scene. We don't get the whole
What are you
scene.
planning to steal hairspray.
Oh, I could watch that all day long. I mean, if I couldn't have paused it on a better screen. If I couldn't have paused it on a better screen. What is happening here? Is there some stinky pinky going on right here? I don't know. I'm not sure. What a lucky guy. Who was this goofball, by the way? What was his name again? This guy, was that John Leguizamo? I don't know. Okay, anyway, there you go, Stanley. Just for you, buddy. He probably bailed out of the stream, too. He's probably listening. He probably went and got his Fine Young Cannibal CD. Probably went and got his Fine Young Cannibal CD. I know you did, Stanley. It's okay. You play it loud and you play it proud, buddy. All right? You play it loud and proud. Okay, a couple of these I'm lost. Brett from Pulp Fiction and J.M.J. Bullock. Oh, my bad. Yeah, the actor. I did have it up there. Whatever. Who knows? Who cares? Who cares? We don't care. about him. We only care about one person and one person only, and that's Jennifer Connelly. Can I get an ass to ass? I was going to say, I thought Curly Sue was it, was the last one he directed, right? Curly Sue, ooh, not so much. Okay. One last story, and then I'm going to get into the things I love. The things I love. Because I don't hate everything. I don't hate Disney. I don't hate all movies and TV shows. I do like some things. I'm going to tell you about a few of them. This is actually pretty fascinating. Oh, I bet you do. Good show, Stanley. Good show. All right. So, Pete Docter says Pixar cut LEO LGBTQ themes because we're making a movie, not hundreds of millions of dollars of therapy. If that's not a quote that is going to absolutely piss off the blue hair septum rings, then I don't know what will. I don't know what will. The animation company's chief creative officer said they did not want their film to force parents to have conversations they weren't ready to discuss with their children. Wow. A novel thing. A children's movie that they decided to cut out gay themes because they'd rather not surprise parents in the theater and force them into possibly having a discussion with their 5-year-old that maybe they're not ready to have. What a novel concept. Don't do it. It'll be bad for all of us, Dreadnought. It'll be bad for all of us. Pixar's chief creative officer, Pete Docter, is explaining why the Disney-owned company settled on cutting LGBTQ themes for their 2025 film Elio, Elio, however you want to pronounce it. Right? In a new interview with the Wall Street Journal, Docter explained that Pixar did not want their film to force parents to have conversations they weren't ready to discuss with their children. Quote, we're making a movie, not hundreds of millions of dollars of therapy. That quote, ladies and gentlemen, right there, is absolutely going to set people on fire. If you look up and you look across X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, you're going to see a lot of people referencing Pixar. At the very least, if your social media is not tailored completely to just your stuff, which it usually is. But if you look, you're going to see some people really freaking out about this. The Hollywood Reporter previously reported on a lengthy reworking of Elio, which spotlights the story of a lonely boy who is beamed into outer space. God, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot read an article anymore. Oh, come on. You serious? You can't read an article anymore without a typo. It is unbelievable. They could finally use AI to proofread a freaking story. It's unbelievable. Holy shit. Okay. The story of a lonely boy who is beamed into outer space after being mistaken as the leader of Earth. The film was originally slated to be directed by Adrian Molina, with the main character of Elio initially being portrayed as queer-coded. Okay, the language, queer-coded. Okay? What is queer-coded? What is that supposed to make you feel? Is that supposed to appease? Is it supposed to make you feel better? Is it supposed to be not as harsh? Instead of leaving it with queer, instead of using the word gay, they say queer coded. It's coded. Well, what is coded? It's fucking DNA? Like, what are we talking about? Coded. I know what it means, but I think it's fucking stupid. After an early screening in the summer of 2023 in Arizona, viewers reportedly said they liked the movie, but no one raised their hand when asked if they'd see it in a movie theater. That's big news for a focus group. Molina later exited the project. As co-directors, Madeline Sheriffin and Dami Shi stepped in to helm the film. A former Pixar artist who worked on ELO told The Hollywood Reporter anonymously, it was pretty clear, though, the production of the first version of the film that studio leaders were constantly sanding down these moments in the film that alluded to Elio's sexuality of being queer. Now, word got out about this. It did. Word got out about this. And I think it hurt the film. Elio opened to record low numbers for Pixar, debuting to a $20.8 million domestic and $14 million overseas opening. At the time, the film arrived as Pixar's first original film following Elemental, which debuted to $29.6 million domestic in 2023, marking the second worst three-day weekend start in the company's history. Maybe because people thought you're trying to slip shit in on their kids that they are not into. And when you're targeting movies towards families and children, guess what the overwhelming majority of the population isn't? And guess what the overwhelming majority of the parents aren't? They're not gay. And they don't want to go to a theater and be surprised or slapped in the face with allusions to a character being gay when they have their 4-year-old, their 5-year-old, or their 9-year-old with them. As a parent, it's just the truth. And the people that you will hear who will tell you the opposite, either A, don't have kids, or B, are raising their kids to be a certain way. Hoppers, which released Friday, is the first Pixar movie to trail Elio with a projected global box office debut of $88 million. As time's gone on, quote, as time's gone on, I realize my job is to make sure the films appeal to everybody, Doctor said elsewhere in his Wall Street Journal profile. You know what you can do? Which that ends the article, which I find fascinating. You know what you can do? You can write stories that appeal to everyone, and you don't have to have gay people in it. You don't even have to announce the sexuality of your characters in said film, animated or otherwise. You can make any film. And you don't have to announce the sexuality of any single character. You know, it's possible to do that. Star Trek. So, as Warchest says, queer-coded is like when you get that wax film stuff on the roof of your mouth after you eat a Snickers bar flat side up. Wow. Have not thought about the flat side up in a long time. Because honestly, I haven't eaten a Snickers bar in a long time that's flat side up. I don't know if I ever have. How you like them apples, Warchest? Speaking of Pixar, how about the mom on The Incredibles? She's packing. Yes, she is. You seen them hips? Apple bottom jeans and a boots with the fur. All right. So anyway, yeah, it's amazing when you want to do this to a kid's film and then people don't show up to see it. Right? Just like the mythical modern audience is that when you appease to people who make up such a small percentage of the population and they don't watch your stuff anyway, and when the sales don't come, you only have yourself to blame. Comics, cartoons, video games, movies, TV, entertainment of all sizes. Doesn't mean there can't be stories for everyone, because there can be stories for everyone. And you can write stories for gay people. You can write stories for strictly straight people. You can write stories for bi people. You can write stories for trans people. But relatively speaking, the numbers that those stories or games or movies or TV shows, books are going to do are going to be relative to the amount of people who are that themselves, which therefore means you're going to make more money writing books that either A, don't appeal to anyone, but appeal to everyone, or the amount's going to be commensurate with who you're targeting and appealing to. If you write a story that's based and targeting trans people, then guess what? Probably not going to make much money off of that. Probably not going to sell a lot of copies, even if it's the best story out there. Them's just the numbers. I don't think that's being hateful or mean. I think that's just being realistic. Let's see here. Nolan says, wonder if that happened, if that Hoppers movie will end up being any good. If it does, it'll give me hope for the new Toy Story movie. Yeah, and I can't wait till that comes out because I want to cover it. I'm curious to see what direction that they go with that. We'll see. Hopper, though, Hoppers, don't know a lot about it. Barely have seen a little bit. But I need to look into it. Joe Finn says, I wonder about Hoppers too. Let's see here. Bobby Wold says, something in the news the other day about that new CEO for Disney dropping the DEI notify to get their bonuses or pay from government. Well, a lot of the ESG money came from people that were actually putting in, right, that kind of stuff, right, for bonuses, for pay. Let's see here. And he retypes it to say, dropping the DEI application so they can get their payment from the government for that program. Yes, I would say, now you're seeing the opposite direction where there's going to be, it'll be advantageous for companies to go the opposite direction. Right? If that's how I'm reading your comment, Bobby. Let's see. The applications, so they get their payment from the government. Yeah. Whereas everybody rushed to the DEI money from the investors, right? From the social governance investors. I think we're going to see a run to the other direction now that the jig is up. Right. Joe Finn says, I think Hoppers will be more about being vegan and save the animal stuff. And Matthew says, Hoppers is not going to be a kid's film. Everything I've seen is very agenda driven. Okay. So we'll have to look into that. I have to look into Hoppers and get an idea of what we're looking at. A quick cursory glance at it, which I can do because, it's my stream and I can fucking take all the time I want. Hoppers official trailer, teaser trailer. Let's see here. What do we want? Let's go with, of course, I'll get copyrighted for this, but whatever. Let's take a look. This is Hoppers. Let's find out what Hoppers is all about, kids. What do you say?
Doc! Oh, I need your help. Mabel, I'm in the middle of class. A class that you are enrolled in.
Sup, Mabel?
Come with me. The traditional methods to understand animals just weren't working.
Oh, shit, folks. Holy hell. Do you see what I see? It's Furry Town. One would say that when I'm at Joe Fest for the last hour of the convention that I am, in fact, a Buc-ee's furry. It's Furry Town. Oh, God.
But we've done it, Mabel. We created a revolutionary technology that gives us unprecedented access to the animal world. We call it Hoppers. Huh? We put this into this. Yes, this into this. Mabel! Be
That's not even funny. There's not the first 30 seconds of this trailer, and there's not a single funny thing in here. Not one funny joke. Like, seriously. Could they get rid of the fucking music, man?
I understand you.
What you doing later?
This is incredible!
All right.
What's your name, Beaver?
Babel?
You want to live here? You better learn pond rules.
What are pond rules?
Oh, I am clearing the rest of the day. Let's hear it for Mabel, everyone.
There's nothing funny about this. Like, am I the only one that's seeing this and thinking there's nothing funny about this? Like, and then we have, of course, the funny animal faces. La, 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 la.
Rule number 1, don't be a stranger. Looking good, Fran. Tom, Laquan, Tamara, Prudence, Pete, Peter, Petey. Yeah, it's crowded, but we're still alive. Rule number 2, when you gotta eat, eat.
How did he get a little crown?
That's your question? Fellow animals! The humans have stolen their last inch of land from us!
Oh, shit. Well. Here we go.
We gotta fight back!
She seems to have become a Joan of Arc type rebel leader.
Mabel, we do not use hopping technology to upset the animal world. She found the button.
The Animal Council has been summoned. The shrill beaver is right.
Yeah!
Their treachery ends here, now.
Yeah!
Let's squish the humans.
Yeah! Wait, squish?
They squish us. Why shouldn't we squish one of them?
I really don't think we need to go all the way to squish.
That was intense.
Everybody here getting
Out of control.
Over here!
I'm sorry. This is shit. This is shit. This is a release trailer. It's like 7 months ago.
Over here!
Your life is in danger. You must do exactly as we say, Harry. LOL, I mean, Jerry. Drive now. Rocket ship.
This is fucking terrible. Yeah, there's a few messages in here. There's a few messages in there. It's not funny. Yeah, Nolan, exactly. Like, you're fucking toasted and it still isn't funny. Like, there's not a crack, not one crack of a. And they all seem the same now, especially these anamorphic ones, right? You know, and the animals, and they make the funny faces, and they do the whole, they do the quick zoom up, like the real quick zoom, you know, that's like, and it's like, or an animal that's chewing, that's like, and it's like, that's not funny. Like, if it was the first time it was done in 1998, 2004, okay, I'll give you that. And if they think this is going to be funny to children, we have to give children way more credit. Like, way more credit. Instead of making stuff for children that's this terrible, give kids more credit. And make stuff. Children are smarter than what people now give them credit for. And feel they have to be super protected. Like, from laughing? I don't know. That was fucking terrible. 3-star Dross is probably going to be passing out soon. We lost that hour today. I hear you. Trust me, I'm missing that hour hardcore. Hey, look, catch the replay or not, whatever you want to do. I like the hiss and tell earlier with the Spirit Iron Knife. You guys should check that out on 3-star's channel. It's pretty funny. Little talk show, so to speak. Yeah. isn't this that movie Brendan Fraser did years ago? Fuck, hey, you got me. This could go in a bin with a bunch of them, right? Just a bin. Yeah, Dreadnought, I'm with you. Just one great movie before the world ends. I can't. It has been so long, right? And then Nolan says, I get them trying to do the whole Avatar thing, but shit, make it good. Yeah, this is pretty rough. That's pretty rough stuff. Pretty shitty, to be honest with you. And I don't think it's going to do very well. I don't think there's a parent out there that's like, hey, we got to go see Hoppers. It's going to be, boy, this is going to be great. We've got to get you that beaver, that stuffed beaver. I mean, that beaver stuffed animal. Here comes mommy with the stuffed beaver. Yeah, that's pretty bad stuff. I don't see parents looking at it, and I really damn sure don't see children looking at the movie and thinking, wow, this is something unique. This is different. I want to go see this. Because even kids that are 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, like they can tell in their brains, like, this is different. This is fun. Is this Trolls World Tour? You know what I mean? Is this a Toy Story? I mean, but truthfully, like, that looks brutal, dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Joe Fan says, I'm sure I remember animal versus human movies before. Yeah, even if you can't, that it's been done, right? And Clint says, both sides of my family are Disney obsessed. Neither side knew about this. That probably goes to show you how little bit and that trailer was 7 months old. I didn't even know about it. And that I pretty much know about most of the Disney shit, most of the stuff that's been up. So, okay, quickly, I want to show you guys something that I found in a storage tub. As I get to the things that I love, we'll talk about it. When I was a kid, me and Three Star Draw used to go to the Freedmen's Army Surplus. All right. We used to go to the Army Navy Surplus. And we used to find a lot of really cool stuff there. We absolutely loved the Army Navy. Camouflage, helmets, gear that had been used in the military, right? They always had cool shit. One thing we like to do as kids, and I'm sure you guys did too, is play grown up, like we called it Big Joes, where we were G.I. Joe. We were the adults, right? And or you might be a cop or a FBI agent or a police, right? Whatever, military. And I found this wallet, folks. I found this wallet that I had when I was younger, and inside this wallet, lo and behold, from Army Navy Surplus, 2 badges that I used to use when we played Big Joes or we played military or whatever. 2 badges that I used to use. And of course, you do the whole thing where you're like, right? Police, I'm going to need to investigate this crime, sir. Here we go. And I can't believe I have these after all these years. This is 40 years old. At least 40 years old. Maybe longer. Inside of it also is these little Citibank Visa ads for NFL cards that, or MasterCard or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, Visa. That had little football teams on them. And then I have this fake American Express cutout card that I put in there. And I used to use this back in the day. And it's like, oh, holy shit, I can't believe I found that. Yes, long before, my friend. Long before. But it was fun. It was like, oh, crap, man, I remember this wallet. And it still has the badges in it and the little fake credit cards and stuff like that. So anyway, so pretty cool. Which leads me into the things that I love. Yes, I'm not just a hater. I don't just hate Disney movies. There's a lot of things I love. And I wanted to give you guys an idea of the things that I absolutely love, things that I like. Okay? Of course, you guys have heard me talk about my son. That's like number one on my list. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. Number one on my list is my son. But this list is not in any particular order, but I have to say it because that's the one thing. If there's anything that brings me joy in this world, that is the singular thing that brings me joy in this world. Including, but not limited to, DEI casted movies. Good pull. Stanley, love when things pop up like that years after stored away, forgotten. I love it. Yeah, a dare badge, right? It's great. It's great. So behind me, you guys know that I have several things here. The lucky 38 sign. Let's see, I'll move out of the way. War Chest sent me. I'd love to light it up, but it's so bright. It dominates. The camera doesn't know what to do. It freaks out. I'm a huge Fallout fan, okay? I am a huge, huge, huge Fallout fan. It is my favorite video game universe. It is my favorite property in video gaming. I love just the world. I love just the everything about Fallout New Vegas. It's one of the most interactive and great writing RPGs in the history of gaming. Is it old school? Yes, it is. Is the combat great? No, it's not. But I love the world building. I love the world. I love Fallout. Therefore, I've told you, I like the Fallout TV show, much to the chagrin of a lot of people. But I do. I absolutely love Fallout. It just, man, like when I think about it, when I go back and replay the game, Fallout 3, I just absolutely love it. Something else I love that you guys know. You know that I love G.I. Joe. Of course you know that. I collect the figures, love the classified, love the cartoons, I love the comics. I absolutely love G.I. Joe. And we'll stop and watch the cartoons on YouTube. I will look up episodes. I will pop in the DVDs. But you already know this, right? You already know this. So, do you know that my favorite character? Do you guys know who my favorite character is? That I love. My favorite character. I know my cousin knows this. Do you know who my favorite G.I. Joe character is? Yes, that's right. War chest full of toys. He nailed it. It is Flint. My favorite character is Flint. I love Flint by far. He is the man. I hate these bars. I wish you could get rid of them. But we'll just go back to there. I love Flint. I thought Flint was the man. I thought Flint was the take control. He had the girlfriend and Lady J with the sultry voice. I love the fucking gun in his hand right there. I love everything about this dude. When I played war as a kid, I loved putting on a beret and pretending that I was Flint. I love the shells on each side of the body. I love the camo pants and those damn boots. Those damn boots. I love those fucking boots. They're fucking awesome. That is my favorite character. But do you know who my favorite Cobra character is? By chance. Does anybody have an idea who my favorite Cobra character is? I do not have my retro carded Flint yet, but I will. You guys are on your fucking money. Now, 3-star may be right, but yes, Storm Shadow is my favorite Cobra character. Storm Shadow is the shit. And if you look at this uniform, what's on his uniform right there? What's on the top left of his uniform? It's a cobra sigil. Storm Shadow is a cobra. Thank you very much. End of discussion. I love Storm Shadow. Do you know what my all-time favorite G.I. Joe vehicle is by chance? Any clue what my favorite G.I. Joe vehicle is by chance? Anybody have a clue what my favorite G.I. Joe vehicle is? Dreadnought says the Whale. Graf says the Havoc. Sabir says the Night Raven. The little bike. Oh, wow. Great call, Clint. Great call. 3-star says the Stinger. Sabir got it right. It is the Night Raven. I love the Night Raven. The Night Raven is my favorite G.I. Joe vehicle. I absolutely loved this plane as a kid. I had this plane as a kid, modeled after the SR-71 Blackbird, which was my favorite plane as a kid. And I fucking love this plane. It is the shit, period. With the drone on the top. I love the drop-down canopy. Get the fuck out of here. This plane is the shit. It is my favorite. Yeah, definitely was my favorite. So you know what else that I love? Do you know what else I love? And if there was another line of toys that I wanted to collect, it would probably be these. Let's see. Let's pull a good pull here, and let's go with this picture right here, and it is Transformers. I fucking love Transformers. I don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about it much at all. But I love Transformers, and I love G1 Transformers. I don't like Beast Wars. I don't like any other bullshit. This is what I love. Right here. G1 Transformers. I love Transformers. I do. And I'm curious if you know what Transformers are my favorite. I've got 3. I have 3 favorite Transformers. I'll give you a guess. Or I'll let you guess. And it's funny you say Voltron, because Voltron is on my like list. Good pull, Stanley. I'll share my first one. I love Megatron. I absolutely fucking love Megatron. That son of a bitch. This look is absolutely fantastic. I love Megatron. Do you know who else I love? Somebody already said it. If I can get the picture to come up. Let's go, picture. Work with me here, kiddo. There we go. I love Soundwave. Soundwave is just the fucking coolest. The voice, the cassettes. I did have the Walther P38 version of Megatron. Yes. Soundwave is the shit. Absolutely love Megatron and Soundwave. But you know what? There also is one more that I love. I love this character. I love this car. I loved everything about the original G1 version. See if I can get a good picture of him for you guys. Let's see here. May not be the best, but I'll give it my best shot. I love Wheeljack. I'm a big Wheeljack fan. I absolutely love Wheeljack. One of my favorite in the cartoons. Love some Wheeljack. So those are my favorite 3 Transformers. Now, you guys know I love action figures. I do love action figures. I also love comics. I love comics. But there's some characters in comics other than G.I. Joe that I don't talk about that often. And there's a character who is my favorite comic book character of all time. I have many graphic novels. I am a huge fan. Huge fan of this character. And that would be, come on, you're killing me, Batman. I love Batman. I love the animated series. I love Batman. I have a ton of graphic novels. A shit ton of graphic novels of Batman. Not a lot of Batman comics, but I have a lot of graphic novels. I love Batman as a character. I love the animated movies. I've watched all of them about Batman. I fucking love Batman. I love everything about that character. But there's another comic book character that I love who is also my favorite. My cousin might know who this is, but I had the limited run series when I was a kid. And that's The Punisher. I had the limited series, the number 1 in 5, not 1 in a 4-issue limited series, but I am a huge Punisher fan. I love Frank Castle. I love The Punisher. Don't get me wrong, I like Spider-Man. I like other characters, but The Punisher, I love The Punisher. Everything about the character. You're evil, you do some bad shit, guess what? You pay the fucking price. I love The Punisher. As many of you know, I love drumming, right? I love drumming. And there's a few drummers that I absolutely love that are my all-time favorites. One of which you may know, which is John Bonham, who is my all-time favorite drummer in the history of music. John Bonham. I love John Bonham. I love Led Zeppelin. I love John Bonham. My all-time favorite drummer ever in the history of drumming. Love John Bonham. Now, I love music. Many of you love music. But I have a few bands and artists that are my favorite. And my all-time favorite artist is Prince. I love Prince. I'm a huge Prince fan. I have bootlegs. I have photos. I have magazines. I have jewelry. I have belt buckles. I have collectibles. I have a bunch of Prince shit. T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. I'm a huge Prince fan. I know the hits, but I also know a shit ton of all of the non-hits. And prefer listening to those over the hits. Danny Carey is a badass. I will give him that. But I love Prince. I'm a huge, huge, huge Prince fan. But there's also some other people that I love. I am a huge, big-time Van Halen fan. I love Van Halen. I absolutely love Van Halen. With David Lee Roth, I love Van Halen. And can listen to every one of those albums from front to back over and over and over again. I absolutely love Van Halen. And quickly, Joe Fan says, I just got an advertisement on Facebook saying Hoppers is the funniest Pixar movie yet. Ha, ha, and ha. Nolan says I'd have to say Lemmy. No doubt. Hey, Lemmy is fantastic. But nonetheless, Van Halen for me as a group, I absolutely love Van Halen. Did you also know, though, that I am a huge Elvis Presley fan? I absolutely love Elvis Presley and can listen to Elvis Presley all day long. Huge fan, especially the live stuff, especially 69, 70, 71, 72. Great shit. I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan. Always have been, always will be. Big time. But there's also another couple of groups that I love. Another couple artists that I love. One of those is one and only Godfather of Soul, James Brown. I am a huge fucking James Brown fan. David Lee Roth, Stanley, all day long. I am a huge James Brown fan. I love James Brown, and I love the 70s 13-minute funk jams James Brown with Bootsy Collins on bass and the funky drummer. I absolutely love some James Brown. I ain't gonna lie. But, you know who else I love? I love this dude right here. This cat, this was my childhood. Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. Especially Off the Wall and Thriller Michael Jackson. In particular, those two records on a loop. Fantastic. Quincy Jones. Love Michael Jackson, especially this period right here. I still have this record. I love having it folded out. He has the little tiger cub inside. This look, this cover, this is chef's kiss. This is beautiful. I love Michael Jackson. Absolutely do. There's another group in here that you might not know that I love, but I am a huge fan, an absolute huge fan of this group. By far, one of my favorite groups, and that is Steely Dan. I love Steely Dan. Again, could listen to Steely Dan all day long on a loop, folks. Give me Showbiz Kids Greatest Hits, Disc 1 and 2. Let me put it in and let me let it roll, and I will listen to it nonstop. I love Steely Dan. Some of the most amazing music ever made. Some of those most amazing music ever made. Sonically pleasing. Beautiful stuff. And, of course, one of my all-time favorite rock bands as well, and that would be Led Zeppelin. Because how could you not? This picture alone is fucking rock and roll. I love Led Zeppelin. And when I was playing drums, learning how to play drums in the downstairs and coming up as a kid, Led Zeppelin was basically my life for probably about 3 years. 2 years, 3 years. Forwards and backwards, live and Memorex. There's other things that I love that you guys might not know. I'm not a huge gun fan, but you know what my favorite gun is? My favorite gun of all time. You may have seen it. It's the Thompson submachine gun. I am a huge fan, and I love the Thompson submachine gun, and I'd use it on James' gun in Minecraft. The Thompson submachine gun is iconic. I loved the gangster shit of the 20s growing up. I love reading Sergeant Rock comics because I love Sergeant Rock. And I love the Thompson submachine gun. Notoriously a shitty gun, but it's my favorite gun of all time. I love the Thompson submachine gun. You know what else I love? You guys know I love movies, right? You know I love movies. But did you know one of my favorite movies of all time, of which there are many, but one of my favorites of all time is a little movie called Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. I am a huge Ghostbusters fan. I love that movie. I love all the actors in it. It is so seriously underrated in its comedy and yet seriousness. It is a great story, but I love the Ghostbusters. I absolutely love the Ghostbusters. There's another movie from my childhood that I absolutely, truly love. And if I went down all of them, this list would be so long that I wouldn't get through it. But there is another movie that I truly adore from my childhood, and it is Gremlins. I love Gremlins. Absolutely love Gremlins. Yes, this movie hit in 1984 at the right time for me as a 9-year-old kid. Gremlins. I had the big plastic spike that was this fucking big. Huge spike. I love Gremlins. I love that movie dearly. It is one of my favorites of all time. Of course, you know that I love Star Wars. You guys know I love Star Wars, right? But I bet you didn't know just how much I love the Indiana Jones trilogy. There are only 3 Indiana Jones movies, and I love all 3 of them, including Temple of Doom, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Temple of Doom, and I love the Indiana Jones trilogy. It doesn't get any better than these 3 movies right here. It doesn't get any better. Now, of course, you know I love Star Wars. Do you know who my favorite character is? Now, we don't have to go far. We don't have to go very far to figure this out, right? I think most of us have the same character that is our favorite, right? And War Chest says, for me, those are the only 3 they ever made. I agree. Did you see that girl, the girl Bill Murray was hitting on in the electrosis scene died recently? No, I didn't. I did not see that. I did not. We've had a lot of people dying. As Billy Butch says, Beverly Hills Cop is my favorite movie, and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, hey, high on my list. Love them. I love Mad Max. I really love The Road Warrior. 100%. Billy Butch says Vader. Not even close. I am a Han Solo man all the way. Come on. Han Solo is the shit. And, of course, my favorite vehicle is... If I can get it up here, if I can actually type, of course, it is the one, the only. Let's see. Google's really treating me well today. No, it's a terrible image, but it's the Millennium Falcon. I love the Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon is the shit. I love the Millennium Falcon. And every time I see it, and every time I hear it roar, gives me goosebumps, kids. Gives me goosebumps. I absolutely fucking love the Millennium Falcon. As you also know, I do love football. I am an absolute football fan. I'm a football fanatic. It is the shit for me. And I live and die by this team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. I am a massive Alabama fan. I watch these games and I live and die every week by this team. I get hyped. I don't get overly pissed because I don't let games do that to me. But I'm very intense watching Alabama Crimson Tide play. I'm also a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Now, many of you know this as well. Huge Steelers fan. Absolutely. And I also live and die by this team. I get into these games. These games get me pumped. I watch them. I get stoked. I'm up. I'm on my feet. I'm talking to the TV. I love my Steelers. Hands down. The greatest, most consistent organization in the history of the NFL. All right. Let's see here. What else do I have listed? Some of these you know, some of you don't know. You know what else I love? I'm going to put it right here for you. Just laying it all on the line. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Folks, I am a huge fan of a ribeye steak and asparagus. If I could have one meal for the rest of my life, it would be ribeye and asparagus. Love it. Yes, it does make your pee stink. I love ribeyes. My favorite cut. And I do love asparagus. Butter, grilled or in a skillet, on the grill. Give it to me. I love it. You know what else I also love? I love a good-ass Caesar salad. My favorite salad. Give me a Caesar salad. Give me a ribeye, some asparagus, and a very nice glass of red wine. Give me a ribeye, give me a Caesar salad, asparagus, and a glass of red wine. And I'm in. I'm all in. If I'm going to drink beer, there is a certain type of beer that I like. And that beer is a Belgian blonde. Black Abbey Rose, specifically here in Nashville, Black Abbey makes a great Belgian blonde called the Rose. I love a Belgian blonde. It's my favorite beer. And if I'm going to drink beer, I prefer to have a Belgian blonde. That is the meal I want on death row. I like my ribeye medium rare to medium is how I like my ribeye. Preferably in between somewhere. My wife kills grilled asparagus, says Matthew. Snow crab legs are fantastic, my friend. I can't argue with that. Dreadnox's Tombstone, Unforgiven, Hoosiers, Aliens, No Country for Old Men, probably my top 5 movies. I love it. I love you guys posting this stuff in here, for sure. No Arizona Cardinals for me, Matthew. Not for me. But I know that, is it Stanley, I believe. Redskins, classic, classic football team for sure. The Winnebago as a vehicle for Spaceballs, I love it. That's a great choice. The B-Wings are cool. The A-Wings are awesome. 100%. I agree they did Han dirty in the end, Billy Butch. I think that was very, very hideous what they did. I don't care if you wanted to kill the character or not. They butchered Han. They butchered Luke as well. And then they turned Leia into a fucking joke. Yeah, the B-Wing, totally cool. And the Chris Vector 40 for a submachine gun. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's see. Am I into? Yes, have some podcasts. They were into toy tubing about 6 years ago. They got Joe-centric toy tubers. I don't know. I have not heard of them. Bernie Kosar, your favorite quarterback? Well, my favorite quarterback of all time is Big Ben Roethlisberger. And right behind him is Terry Bradshaw. So, but hey, I'm with you on Bernie. Bernie was great. Snow speeders. I still have my original snow speeder. It's over in a box over there. I don't want to grab it. It's in part. I mean, it's still together, but it's missing some parts. So, embarrassing. It's embarrassing to show that. But anyway, so like I said, a Belgian blonde. I will also tell you that I love the South. I love the South. Not ashamed to be from the South. I love the South. I love where I'm from. I love the history. I love the temperature. I love the region. I love the beauty of the South. I am proud to be from where I'm from. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I love the South, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. War Chest is not a huge fan of the new Star Wars movies. Who is? But I do dig the Jedi Fighter, which I do like from the prequels, with the detachable hyperspace ring. I do like that as well, 100%. Stu says meatloaf the next day on butternut white bread and butter. Damn! All right, meatloaf sandwich. Go get yourself some, Stu. Get it. I do. I love the South. I love the history. For all of its ups and downs and whatever anybody wants to say, I do love this region of the country. I think it's beautiful. I think the people are beautiful. I think there's a way of life down here that people live. Yes, it is slower, but that's what makes it appealing. And I find it funny because there's so many people moving here now to the South, to where I live. Interesting, isn't it? Quite interesting. Graf says, I'd say something, but I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I'll just sit on my hands. I think that area is actually beautiful, too. My stepmother is from Seattle, Washington. And so I think it's beautiful. I think every area, every region has its ups and downs. I think every area has its good and bad points. I think every area is beautiful in its own way, especially if it's where you're from. But a lot of people out there would think that I should be ashamed of where I'm from, or the South is a terrible place. It's a great place. It's a beautiful place. And yes, our accents sometimes might be funny, but that also could apply to all over the place, right? Yeah, love me some me. You and me both. Which also brings me to something else that I love. As Billy Butch says, the Imperial Shuttle, not bad at all. What neighborhood? I'd have to ask her exactly, to be honest with you, Stanley. I'd have to ask you. Graf said, it's amazing here, the nature that is. The people stink literally and figuratively. All right. Well, there you go. Maybe it's because they're sitting on their hands, Graf, instead of washing their bodies. I kid because I care. There are so many other things that I do love. So many, many more. I love 80s NASCAR. I love Breaking Bad. I love Game of Thrones. I love the New York Mets. I love Robotech, Voltron, and anime. I love getting dressed up. I love wearing my cowboy boots on stage because they then turn into rock and roll boots. I love playing golf. I love the heat. I love tractor pulls. I do love the rebel flag, but only because of what it stands for me, which is what I said earlier. I love the South, and I love that flag. Some of my favorite bands had that flag on stage behind them when they were singing country music or rock and roll music. And it didn't mean anything other than they were from Jacksonville, Florida, or they were from Fort Payne, Alabama. That's what it meant. But that's all it meant. And that's what it means to me. Nothing more, nothing less. But to others, I understand it. It maybe means something else, but it means so much more to me, the rebel flag. I do. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then lastly, I will tell you guys, Southern born and Southern bred. Great. My home is in Alabama. Great song, by the way. I love being the center of attention. I absolutely love being the center of attention. What's up, 610? Yo, Joe Daddy. I do. I love performing. I love entertaining. I loved playing drums. I loved singing for bands. I loved being on stage. I loved entertaining. I loved taking my cordless mic and jumping up on the bar and walking down the bar while I'm singing songs, and then jumping down off the bar and doing a spin and making my way back to the stage, and then jumping on stage and bringing a girl up on to dance on the stage, and then whatever. I love entertaining, and I love being the center of attention. I just do. I always have, and I always will. So I love doing this. I like talking. I like entertaining people. I like cutting up and being goofy and shit like that. And hopefully that's the way it comes across. But do I hate a lot of new Disney Star Wars? Yeah, I hate most of it. Do I hate DEI? Do I hate identity politics? Do I hate all this bullshit that's really divided people and made people at each other's throats, not because of their own fault, but because of the media and activism. Yes, I hate all that shit. And it's infected pop culture. And that's why a lot of the reason I got on YouTube in the first place was to talk about it and talk about those things I can't stand. But there's a lot of shit that I do love. A lot of shit that I do love. Too much to name here, but those are just a few of the things that I do love. So there. I don't hate everything. And to be quite honest with you, I love people. I do love people. I like black people, white people, Hispanic people, Dominican, Asian. I don't give a shit. Wherever you're from. I love people. I absolutely love people. I find people fascinating. People are fun. And so, when I talk about some of the things that I talk about on my shows, just understand that, like, I do love people. Okay? People drive me crazy, but I love people. I love it. I wouldn't bartend if I didn't. You understand? I could not bartend for a living if I hated people of any color. And like Dreadnought says, I like good people regardless of color. Bingo. Bingo. Because there's plenty of shitty people out there. And it doesn't matter what color they are, they're still a piece of shit. Okay? I like good people regardless of who they are. And bartending helps me facilitate that in some shape, form, or fashion. I do enjoy it. I love the interaction. I love the interaction on here. I love cutting up with you guys, with my cousin on a stream, with Matthew on a stream. So I don't hate everything. I like a lot of stuff. I love a lot of stuff. And hopefully Disney will give us some good entertainment. Hopefully we'll get some good Star Wars. Hopefully we'll get some more good superhero movies. Hopefully we'll get some more movies that get back to basics and write good stories and give us, good plots and good actors and not activists, right? That's what I think we all want. So yes, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, I am going to get back my hour of sleep that I missed. I do have to work tomorrow. I have a stream Tuesday with Matthew, the Evening Blend at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, as you guys know, and many of you will be there. And then this Wednesday, my cousin is on a backyard battlefield with Krusty Old Crow. So I advise you guys to check that out as well. And then I will leave one last thing right here in the chat, which many of you may have seen. And if you haven't, as soon as you leave here, I will hopefully have you go check out this video right there. Stu, thank you. You're awesome. As always, good show, good people, good night. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you guys are freaking awesome. I do really appreciate it. A 610 Yo Joe Daddy says, it's crazy, but I'm a lifelong Tennessee fan living in Alabama, and I'm the reverse. So it's crazy, right? Like, shit happens. It is like that. But yes, I am going to get out of here. As Stanley said, tractor pull my finger. I love lamp. Yeah, hey, Billy Butch, I appreciate it, man. No doubt about it, man. I really do. And everybody that stopped by to hang out with me again on a Sunday night, as always, much appreciated. In the chat is the link to 3 Star Draw's video. It is his Cobra News Now Hiss and Tell episode 1, part 1, where the Televiper interviews Spirit Iron Knife, and it's quite interesting. But look, you guys have a great night. I do really appreciate it. And again, I will see y'all on Tuesday with Matthew. We got a lot to talk about. Doomsday plot leak. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through it and see what you guys think about it. The plot has leaked. So I have that saved, and we got a few other stories to tell, including some stuff about Ghostbusters and such. So I'll see you guys Tuesday night on the Evening Blend, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Thanks, y'all. Have a great night. Really appreciate it.